this weekend we have Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin, and you know, this is a first in many different ways. This is I believe this is the first title shot for Frank Martin. This is the first official title defense for Tank Davis at 135, meaning him holding a real belt, not a Reggie belt. And this is the first, I believe, because like I said, I've looked at Tank's resume. I can't find any black fighters on Tank's resume. And I think Frank Martin is the first black fighter on Tank's resume, man. So these new grounds for all of these, for both of these guys. But can Frank Martin win this fight, man? And I did a prediction about this already. My prediction stands, and it's Frank Martin loses by knockout. He gets knocked out probably in the 10th round. Body shot from Tank Davis. That's a possibility. But there's also the possibility of a severe upset in this fight, man. You know, it can happen. But many people believe Tank picked Frank Martin because he knows him. They sparred, and he doesn't believe, you know, that Frank will fuck with him. Now we never seen the sparring footage of Tank and Frank fighting in the ring. Some people say Frank Martin hurt Tank Davis in the spar. Tank says he hurts Frank Martin. It's one of those things where you're gonna get that from both sides until you actually see a video, you know. But can Frank Martin win this fight, man? If you look at some of Tank's most recent fights and the way he's been fighting, I've said this already. I watch Tank Davis fight. I watch how he reacts to certain types of fighters and how he moves in the ring against certain fighters. Now, when he was fighting Hector Garcia, Tank was very sure of himself. He wasn't really backing up a lot. He was right in the middle of the ring. The reason why is because he couldn't feel Hector's power, because Hector was too small. He pulled Hector up in weight. So he knew Hector wasn't really a threat when it came to the power. And Hector's not a boxer either, so Hector was right there to be hit. And when Tank fought Barrios at 140, you know, he moved around a little bit more. Because Mario Barrios, not a big giant puncher, but he does have some pop behind his punches. And then has a higher weight class, so the punches is harder. So Tank was a little cautious early on in that fight. And then you started seeing when he noticed he could hurt Tank, he could hurt Mario Barrios, he started walking him down and stopped him. That's pretty much Tank's MO. He likes to bait you. He's a master at, you know, he's a manipulative boxer, meaning he can play with your emotions and have you thinking one thing, and he's trying to set you up. You know, like, all right, you know, he'll move around the ring, evading your punches if you're a big puncher, and all the while he's trying to set a trap for you to knock you out, and you don't realize it because you think in your mind he's running from you because he's afraid to get punched. Now, I believe in a lot of them fights, like with Ryan Garcia, he was moving around a lot, and he was afraid to get punched. He knocked them out with counters, man. He knocked them out with counter shots. He didn't like the power of, he said Rolly is the hardest puncher he ever faced. He didn't like the power. So the problem with Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero was they were too aggressive. They wasn't composed. They thought the way to go in there to get the killer out was to be a killer themselves, and they were mistaken. That's not the way to beat Tank Davis. The only way you can really beat Tank, you can beat him two ways. You know, if you got power, you can crack him real good with something, but you can't just have power. You got to have defense. You got to have a good chin yourself too. because you know a shot is more than likely coming back. You know, a strong counter is coming back, or if you know your hands is in the wrong place, and he's gonna see that. So not only that, you know, or you can purely outbox him for the whole fight, and I think that's probably the only way, at least at this point in Tank's career, to beat him is by outboxing him, boxing his ears off for 12 rounds, moving, boxing, sticking, moving, sticking. That's probably why Shakur beats him. Shakur Stevenson is probably one of the only ones that can do that. And Devin Haney probably still can do it. I don't even think Devin Haney, just because you saw him lose to Ryan, that doesn't mean he can't beat Tank. So, you know, so Tank will have a problem with somebody that moves around. He'll say your power can't keep you off of him. But then, okay, then that means you turning into the aggressor, and then you're going to make mistakes yourself trying to catch the pure boxer. And if you can catch him and land, and he don't got a chin, now that's the questionable thing people now throw on Devin Haney now, especially after Ryan Garcia fight, is that he's chinny. So now he's going to be labeled as a chinny fighter now, man. He's pretty much where Amir Khan is now, I think. I think this Ryan Garcia fight put Devin Haney in that category because it's all you see. He's chinny. I don't think he's chinny. I just think he gets hit with shots. He got hit with them shots that he didn't really anticipate, or he didn't have his hands up when it was supposed to be, man. I don't think he's a chinny guy. I just think, you know, when it comes to some, you know, he might not withstand the hardest punches of the puncher, but yeah. But I mean, he fought Tank in the spar. I mean, I didn't see him buzzed at all. He just, like I said, he was fighting his fight. That's how Devin fights, you know. But Frank Martin, the only way he got a chance of winning this fight, bro, is if he relaxes, he stays calm, and like overall. I was just listening to my brother Easy Work Boxing. Shout out to Easy Work. They were just talking about that over there. And they were saying, yo, he gotta stay composed. He can't go in there and just bull rush Tank, because that's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work like that. You're gonna make a mistake somewhere, and you're gonna pay for that mistake, man. But at the same time, it's the first time for everything. What if Frank Martin just goes in there with the chin of steel and just mauls Gervonta Davis, man? That'd be something. Like I said, this is boxing, bro. You never know what to expect. Expect the unexpected at all times. But realistically speaking, man, if Frank Martin was to win this fight, he's going to have to do it by decision, man. I don't think he might not have the power to knock Tank out. So, you know, can he take Tank punch? We don't know yet. Like I said, sparring is different. They got headgear and shit on, so, you know, we don't know. Now there's no headgear. So this should be rather interesting, man. Let me know what you think, man. Can Frank Martin beat Gervonta Davis? Will he? And how can he do it? This is your boy. You know what it is. I'll catch y'all on the next one, and I'm out.